What's up, gang? Let's talk about it. This definitely is not what I planned on talking about. But after the events of today, I think we all need to probably just kind of get it out there, tell it like it is, and get ready. Serious. I had a really nice presentation here for hurricane preparedness, but I can do that any day. Matter of fact, I'll probably do that on Monday. I hope you'll join me on Monday, Monday night, 8 o'clock. I'll do this on Monday night. But we need to talk about what happened today to our country. Everybody thinks this is all about one man. It is not about one man. It's about our country. It's about how left-wing socialists and fascists have taken control of our government and a lot of states individually, New York being one of them. And of course, we know California, Oregon, Washington, Illinois, we know the rest of them. We know where they are out there. But I'm going through the comments here, and it looks like everybody feels pretty much the way I did about what happened today. It was a total farce. I knew when they came back quick, that was a quick decision by the jury. I think it was a little over 11 hours total. I knew when they came back with 32 indictments that it was all pretty much rigged from the start. There's no way that jury could go through 32 indictments and look at the evidence on these cases and come up with that decision in that small amount of time. And I've been involved in a lot of court cases, guys. I've seen a lot of things in my day with the legal system. You know that. But this is it. Today was the start. I have no doubt it's clear to everybody that our republic is crumbling. We actually need balkanization in this country. And if it don't happen real quick, it will surprise me. Now, I know they're talking about this has to go through the legal process. It'll go through on appeal. And, he'll win on appeal. But when they have that sentencing on July 11th, that day, 4 days before the Republican convention, this Democrat bought and paid for whore they call a judge can put Donald Trump in jail that day. If they do, that's when the trouble's going to start. I have no doubt that if he is imprisoned, there will be problems. There have been other prepper channels on today already talking about this. They're talking about things happening as soon as tonight. They might. I don't think they will, though. I think the people that are affected by this is more level-headed than to go out and start doing a bunch of crap based strictly on their emotions today. That's why I changed this program. I don't think anybody should do that, but you need to get ready for that to happen wherever you live. Unless you're out in the middle of nowhere, if you're in a big city somewhere, if you're in even just, like Orlando, just like a little average sized city, you could have problems pop up. They are pushing it to that level, guys. That's exactly what they're doing. You know what you need to do. You know what you need to get ready. It's hard for me to sit here and talk about this like this calm, because I am pissed off about it. I think the whole thing was a fix from the start. Have no doubt. But the way it's handled from this point forward, leading up to July 11th, you're going to see a lot of legal back and forth, a lot of maneuvering in the courts as Trump tries to take this on appeal. An appeals court in New York might say, no, we're not even going to hear it. They might. But even if they say, yes, we'll take it up, that don't mean they can take it up in a hurry. They're not going to do it by July 11th, I don't think. If they do, it'll surprise me. They could, and it's been done in cases before, but it'll surprise me if they don't slow walk this one just on purpose, intentionally. Because right now, basically, they have this man locked up. I don't know if there's any restrictions on his movement yet. I don't know if they told him not to leave the state of New York or, the city of New York or what. I haven't heard that, but I would think that just maybe they're doing this to try to keep him cuffed, keep him from campaigning between now and July 11th. It wouldn't surprise me if they did. Hopefully they didn't. Hopefully he can go out now and do what he needs to do. But it's a sad day in our country. This is the start of the end, guys. This is it today. Like I said, it's not about one man. It's about what they're doing to our justice system. And if they can do this to a former president of the United States, they can do it to any of us. And they don't care about you or me, and they will squash us all like a bug to stay in power. So you need to get ready. Got to be careful what I say here. I watched pinball earlier. He got a little wound up, but he said a lot of things that needed to be said. Lock and load, guys. Get ready. Get ready to rock and roll. This is the start unless something drastic changes in the next few months. They're not going to let Donald Trump be president. It don't matter if they have to bring in 100 million fake votes. They brought in 50 million last time around. They can easily double that. They're not going to let him be president of the United States. And I don't think the people that are in charge of all of this are beyond dispatching him if they think that's what it'll take. But that's just my opinion. If you're pissed off about it, I understand. A lot of people are doing what you're seeing on the wall behind me. They're turning their flag upside down. But I don't think you should do that. I think you should take your flag down. That's what I'm going to do. They're setting us up for a conflict, and I don't want to signal to my enemies where I am. You got to start thinking tactically, guys, because that's what it's going to come down to when it's a survival situation. I mean, I'm not worried about the government. I'm not. They know who I am. They know how I think. They know my history. They got that on every one of us. I'm not worried about them coming here and getting me. If they do, it will be a very unusual thing. But what I'm worried about is the people around me. I got one neighbor down the street, just a couple of doors down. He's nutty as shit. I don't know his politics, but I know he's not beyond snapping and doing something crazy, because he has before, not too long ago. He was out in the street howling at the damn moon at 2:00 in the morning. That's the kind of person you don't want to piss off. It's not that I'm afraid that he's going to do something to me. It's that I'm afraid of what I'll have to do to him if he does do something to me. Don't let yourself get put in that situation. Don't let them know where you are. A lot of you, thank goodness you live out in rural areas, and most people are like-minded, as we are. And that's a good thing, because you might come down to you needing those folks. But if you live like me, in the outskirts of the city and the suburbs, be careful. Be really careful. Watch what's going on around you all the time. From this point forward, all the time. You got your tool. Don't leave home without it. Just be careful, guys. Anybody got anything to say on this topic before I get off of this? Yeah, believe in the Lord, guys. It's all his plan. Whatever happens is his plan. You got to believe that, guys. All right. I think we need to go on what we're here to talk about. Let me make a little change here. Well, let's see what we got here. Let's go with this. Yeah, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better for the topic we're going to discuss here. Right quick. Sorry I wasted 10 minutes of your life. I just had to vent a little bit, but I'm not going to do it the way most people do. I'm not going to get on here and rant and rave. You know who the most dangerous person on the battlefield is? The one that's quiet, the one you can't see. That's what you need to be. Let me get on by that. Let me get out of here. All right, who's here tonight? Who's here? Oh, wow, we got a good discussion going here. Let me go way up to the top and see who was first. All right, man. All right. Looks like Lori was first. She wants Lady Prepper to come visit. All right. Michelle J., my girl from Tennessee. Nick L. That's right. FJB, guys. Glenn Anderson, man in Texas. Glad you got power, buddy. Still a lot of folks down there don't. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Who else we got? Pauline's with us. All right. She wants to say good evening to everybody. Tennessee's in the house. Phil Dixon representing. All right. Go on down. Let's see who we got. Debbie Jones is with us. Looking forward to Sunday. It's going to be fun. It's going to be hot, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be hot. Who else? Texas Raiders with us. There's another Texas man right there. Glad to see you got power. Linda Farrow. Oh, wow. Greg Harmon's in the house. Did I give Tammy Joe a shout out? Yeah, I did. There we go. RBL's back. Haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, I don't think.
What time we're going and where? A couple of people, somebody asked where we're going at what time.
Oh, we're going to the Triple N Ranch in Hollapaw, Florida. I'll be there at 1 o'clock trying to sight in my new rifle. Maybe it'll be more successful than last time. We'll see. Triple N Ranch in Hollapaw, Florida. I'll be there at 1 o'clock. Hope you can join us. There's Lynn Stalker. All right. What else we got down here? Man, y'all did a lot of talking while I was on my little rant there. I appreciate it, though. Fourth and Goal is with us. David T's back. All right. Kathy C. There we go. All right. I want to tell y'all something about this young lady. She is.
I didn't tell him whatever it is, Kathy.
She is a new member of the Second Amendment Club.
Yay.
She bought her first firearm last week, was it?
Last weekend.
And
Here she is.
We're glad she has it. Now I want you, don't just stick it in the closet. Go to the gun range. There are people there that'll work with you and teach you how to use it proper.
Her and Janet are going to hook up. Janet's got property to go shoot on.
I wished I had somebody down here that had a lot of property I could shoot on. But welcome aboard in the Second Amendment Club. Make sure you do it right. Do it right. Rob Jones is with us. All right. Buzz Runner's in the house. Who else we got down here? There's Craig, my man. If you're back in town, we got to get together, man. I got something I need to give you. If you're still out of town, let me know. We need to try to hook up on radio on 6 meters or 10 meters or something. But let's do that. Wanda Landry's with us. Tamara's back. All right. Man, I got a good bunch in here tonight. Who else we got down here? Hill Bill's in the house. My man. Let me go down a little bit more before I get going here. There we go. Husky Mama's with us. Yeah, you were supposed to call me, and you didn't. Give me a call so we can talk about what you need. I know you got the number. JTW's back. All right. Janet Neese. Got your wrench, Janet. All right.
Fluffy said she saw some comment on Pinball's thing that the government's flying some families out to Barbados.
Flying families to
On
Barbados.
C-130s and C-17s. That's about.
I'll have to look into that before I can comment on it.
Yeah.
Short-lived saint. Thank you, sir.
Oh, Kathy
wow.
says you can take her off the screen now.
Yeah, probably could. There we go. So thank you. I see I'm looking over here instead of over there. That's my fault. Thank you for reminding me.
I miss your face.
Fluffy, there's Fluffy. Patriot Ordnance is with us. I know he's upset about what happened today. All right. Now, let me get on with what we come here to talk about. It's supposed to be a really fun year this year in the hurricane season. They're predicting more storms than ever.
Yay.
Right here. That's from the National Oceanographic and whatever it is, that weather place that does all that. But you can see there, they are predicting a lot of storms, 17 to 25 of them total, with 4 to 7 of them being major. And the reason why they come up with that number is because the ocean is hotter right now than it's ever been this time of year. You can see the dark orange there, right there around Africa. That's 85 degrees and above. It's never been that high this time of year, ever. So we got a nice hot ocean out there to percolate them storms and shoot them right at the state of Florida, Gulf Coast, East Coast, you know. So they don't just stop here. They usually wind up going up into the middle of the southeastern states. They actually call Tennessee the place where hurricanes go to die. Normally, that's how far they make it before they peter out. It's all the way up to Tennessee. But when the water's that hot, you know they're going to be stirring up some storms, guys. The one person I trust more than anybody, let me see if I got this on here. I got Mr. Weatherman in here. Is Mr. Weatherman.
Brian Shields.
Yeah, right here. Let me pop him up there. For some reason, that won't load. Oh, there it comes. It was moving slow. He's got a YouTube channel. Every day he does weather updates. And this guy is on point more than anybody else in the city of Orlando. I keep an eye on several sources during hurricane season. But Mr. Weatherman there and his cohort, Tom Terry, they are the best in the business when it comes to these hurricanes. So if you're in the Orlando area, you might want to check him out. Anywhere in Florida, actually. You might want to check this guy out and see what he's got going on. I think right now he said there's 3 tropical waves in the Atlantic, and they all have the potential to build. So that's not a good thing. We got 3 of them right off the bat. Hurricane season's not even until Saturday. So they're already cranking it up. But we're here to tell you how to get ready for that. That's what we're here for. Now, I'm sure several of you have heard me say before that you need to have a minimum of 3 days of food and water in your home. So I'm going to make some recommendations for you. The water, it's totally up to you how you want to stock that. It's hard to stock water. If you want to buy 1 gallon jugs or 5 gallon jugs or whatever, just make sure you get distilled water, because there's nothing in distilled water that will go bad. You got to have it in a good, strong container, though. If you just buy 1 gallon jugs, that plastic jug will break down, and that will get in your water. Get some good, thick, they're clear jugs that hold water. Those don't break down as quick. They last much longer. They last years. And that distilled water will always be good for years. But you need 1 gallon for each person in your house per day. So I'm saying 3 days. Actually, I'd recommend 7 days, but the minimum is 3 days. If you look down in the description box below, there's a link there to the FEMA emergency preparedness list. That'd be a good little guide for you. Give you something to go on. But let's go with at least 3 days, guys. I'm saying 7 days, but that's totally up to you. Now let's get on to the food right here. I got one of these. I got a couple of these. Got one sitting right over there, actually. The Augustin Farms Emergency Foods. This bucket, you can see, it has 176 servings in it. And it's only $64. That's 37 cents a serving. But you got to know what you're getting there. You're not getting any real meat in this bucket. Most of the dishes are like soups or cereals, rice or noodles, with flavoring on them. but that's a lot of servings for $64. This is a 4-person bucket for 3 days. If it's just you, it's 12 days. Just you and a spouse or a partner, 6 days. But that is very cheap for any long-lasting emergency food right there. But like I said, it's not very hearty. You are getting a lot of calories though, and the calories is what you really want to get. What did that say? Over 2,000? Let me pop that back up there. 2,200 calories per day. That's a good count on your calories.
Susan said the state of Florida changed the recommendation from 3 days to 7 days.
Yeah.
Officially.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's what I say is a minimum is 7 days. 3 days, maybe you'll get by, but 7 days is your best bet. But if you buy something like that, this long-term food, it's not going to go bad anyway. It has a 25 or 30-year shelf life. If you don't use it this year, you might use it 5 years from now, and it's going to taste just the same. Throat, sorry guys. Thanks for being here.
Edith Wallace wants to know if you've tried the food.
Yes, I've tried everything I recommend. If I recommend it, I've tried it. It's that simple. Except for some of the equipment. But I've researched some of the equipment. We're going to get into that in just a few minutes. But let's go on with the food here before I get off on that. This is the Mountain House bucket.
They have good food.
They have tremendous food. This bucket has 24 servings in it. The reason why it is so much higher is because in Mountain House, you get actual meat. It's dehydrated meat in their meals. And in this bucket, I got links below to these guys. They're affiliate links. I got to tell you that legally. But in this Mountain House bucket, you get beef stew, you get beef stroganoff, spaghetti with meat sauce, and chicken fried rice. And all of them have real meat in them. Those are they are some delicious dishes. I've never eaten anything from Mountain House that didn't taste good.
No, their biscuits and gravy's the best.
Yeah, the biscuits and gravy is our favorite. We have that when we go camping sometimes, but hey, I could eat it tomorrow morning. It would be great. You know, and if you get the gravy and biscuits with sausage, that's even better. Their food is great. But of course, you can always build your own food supply, which you should do if you don't have the money or if you don't want to buy something like this. The Mountain House is expensive for what you get. It really is. The Augustin Farms, that's a good price. If I were you, what I would do if you're going to go that route, we actually have some of this kind of setup in our emergency supply. You use their dishes as side dishes, and then you have canned meats that you can have with it, like, ham or roast beef or, ground beef or whatever to mix into those dishes. Give them a little better flavor, make them a little more hearty. But like I said, you can build your own. Canned foods, I've shown you this before, but it's right there. The Department of Agriculture says that practically canned foods are good forever. As long as that can's not damaged, rusted, or swelled, that food inside is good. So build your own menu. Get canned foods. Like me, of course, I'm going to have some chili, right? Get me some cans of chili and put them back. Hey, I know they're going to be good forever as long as that can's not damaged. Or like I said, canned hams, those little canned Dak Hormel hams you get, they last forever.
Walmart Spam.
Good hearty food. Spam, Walmart Spam. You guys saw my review on that.
It's way better.
That Great Value Spam is better than the expensive stuff. But you can do that. You can buy noodles, spaghetti noodles, linguine noodles, whatever, macaroni. It's as long as you keep it in a nice dry place, it's going to be good practically forever. 5 or 6 years down the road, those noodles might get a little stale, but they'll still be edible. And you'll be able to mix them up with, like I said, that canned chili. Boil you up some noodles, pour you some chili on there, stir it up. Man, that's a good meal right there. But, that's pretty much all you need for your food and water. Now we're going to get into your power, which I'm always talking to you guys about. Your light sources. I showed you how to make a little 12-volt light. in a previous video. I did another video, with the alternate light sources, candles, or, the 100-hour chemical candles, flashlights, whatever, make sure you got some lights. I'm going to do a little video kind of thing coming up sometime this week using my little portable generator and a light, and, which will demonstrate the easiest way to get by on the minimum amount of energy when the lights are out. And you never know when your lights might go out, especially in storm season. Look what's happening in Texas right now. This is earlier today. There are people in Texas that's been without power for a week and a half. Today, there's still 180,000 people with no power. And then the storms that rolled through, up in the southeast earlier, Arkansas and Kentucky, they're still showing over 10,000 people without power. So your lights can go out anytime during this storm season. You don't have to be on the coast. And these things that I'm showing you will work anywhere, of course. You don't have to be in Florida or the Carolinas or Louisiana to build up your food supply and stock your water and get your power sources ready, or, make sure you got your radio, a little emergency radio. You got to have that, guys. It's nice you got that cell phone to count on, but what happens if, the cell system goes down? You're operating off data. You might be able to do that, but you need an emergency radio to get that information. That's what's important. But to make sure you got that power, I recommended one of these before, and I'm going to recommend it again. It's still on sale. It's the Opus 660 portable power station. It has 256 watts of power. It can run a light like the one I showed you, I built for you. It can run that. It can keep your cell phone charged up. It'll charge up your laptop. But you got to remember now that laptop burns up a lot more energy than your phone and those little lights that you get. Okay. But this right now is a hit. This thing is a nice piece of equipment. I've checked the reviews on their products. Opus makes some awesome stuff. And that's a little portable unit. It only weighs 8 pounds. Now, it's not going to run your refrigerator or your freezer or your hair dryer or your big TV, but it will keep you in power, keep you in light, keep your cell phone going, keep your iPad going or whatever you're operating on, as long as it's not a big computer, keep you going. And that's what you're going to want in those kind of situations. And right now is the best time to get them, because once a storm hits, guess what? You're not going to be able to find them anywhere. It's that simple.
That company's going to send Lori one.
Lori said, all right, good.
Cool.
I'm glad. I think I'm going to have to just break down and buy one just to test it, just to make sure. I have no doubt it's good.
Happy wants to know if it'll run a CPAP machine. I don't know.
How many watts does a CPAP machine take? That's the thing when you're buying these portable generators. You got to know how many watts you want to draw out of those and for what period of time. That determines how big a portable generator you want. If you know the wattage on that, shoot me an email. Shoot me an email with that wattage, and I will find out exactly what you need to run that all night long. So make sure you do that, and I'll take care of that for you. But like I said,
Lori was told it would run an oxygen tank. So if it runs an oxygen tank, theoretically, it should run a CPAP.
Well, it all depends on the wattage. You got to know the wattage. Just because it runs this component don't mean it'll run that component. So okay. You got to know exactly what your needs are and what you have available.
You spoke about a radio. What 10 meter frequency are you guys using? Someone wants to know.
10 meter is, let me see here. That's between 28.3 and 28.5 megahertz. That's where we operate on 10 meters. I hooked up with a guy it was in Tennessee the other day, Shelbyville. Talked to a guy in Shelbyville, Tennessee the other day. And that was just with my little 50-watt radio I have here. If you have a good 10-watt radio, then you're going to be able to reach out there in the daytime. If it's nighttime, that signal ain't worth a crap. You need to get you a more traditional system, or try 6 meters. I think 6 meters works better in the dark. Craig could tell us if he's still here. I don't know if he is or not, but I'll find out. Todd's with us. All right.
CPAP uses 30 to 60 watts
30
an hour.
to 60 watts an hour. So you got 350 watts in that box, 356 actually. So it will run your CPAP, let's say an average of 50 watts. It would run it for 6 hours with no problem. So hopefully that answered your question. You really need to get one of these boxes now, guys, because they're cheap. They're only going to go up, especially with the tariffs that's about to be slapped onto China. The price is going to have to increase on them because that's where they all come from. There are a few of them made here in the United States, but just check them out. Just do your research like I do. The one that I can absolutely recommend 100% is the one I built. It's sitting right over there. I did a video on that. It works just like the one I just showed you, but I built it for a lot less. So if you're interested in building your own, check my channel, watch that video, and it'll show you how to build yourself one. But, I run over my 30 minutes. But I guess with that, boredom is going to be a big problem. I was actually going to talk about this. I had it on my board over there. I put it on there yesterday. And it turns out my man Rural 2IC did a video on boredom after an SHTF. So go over there and check his video out. But, a good idea is make sure you got books. Of course, you need books. Board games, just a deck of cards. Anything you can play with to take your mind off of what's going on around you when the lights are out. Of course, you got your light, so you'll be able to play all those games. But just something to keep your mind occupied. Being a writer, I think the greatest thing you can have is books, because you can read books and go anywhere in the world, anytime in our history, or anytime in the future. And it's impossible to think about two things at once. It's impossible. So if you're engulfed in a nice story that's carrying you to this place, and that time, you're not worried about what's going on around you. You're in a good place because your mind's tied up and you're enjoying it. So think about that. But I'm going to leave you with one more tip before I get out of here. This is one everybody really needs to know. When you're buying your hurricane supplies, lay them bottles sideways in the cart because you can get more of them in there. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm going to say stay strong, keep prepping, pray for the United States. I hope you have a great night. The Orlando Prepper is out.